How y'all doing today? This is Vale with the Chain Veil MTG. Today we are bringing you a very spicy Voltron colorless deck tech built around Karn Legacy Reforged from March of the Machines Aftermath. So let's get after it. Karn Legacy Reforged is a 5-mana star artifact creature golem. Its power and toughness equal to greatest mana value among artifacts you control. And at the beginning of your upkeep, add colorless mana for each artifact you control. This mana cannot be spent to cast non-artifact spells. Until turn, you don't lose this mana as steps and phases in. So, Karn is at its worst a 5/5 that every turn adds 1 mana to your mana pool. But in our deck, it gets a lot bigger than that. We are running 2 Planeswalkers. Karn, Scion of Urza is a okay, not really okay, but a source of card advantage in this deck. Karn, the Great Creator, he does pull artifacts from exiles. And he's a stacks piece that works towards our stacks lockdown we have in the deck. Ornithopter of Paradise is an artifact creature taps for mana. Foundering Inspector and Joyous Familiar are both combo pieces and cost reduction. With Synthe's Divining Top and Mystic Forge. Liberator Urza's Battlethopter is one of the best ways to get flash to our equipment and all our artifacts. Lodestone Golem, since the majority of our cards in this deck that we cast are artifacts, that stacks effect is most of the time one-sided. Kodota Forge Master, we struggle to find tutors in this deck. So this is a way for us to tutor. Wandering Arcanic is a stacks piece that slows down our opponents because if they cast instants of sorceries, which include some of the tutors out there and some remove pieces, we get a copy of it unless they pay more mana. Introduction of Prophecy. Card draw is really hard to find in this deck, so 3 mana, see the possibility of 3 cards, can mean a lot. Introduction of Annihilation. It's another card that really overcasted for its ability, but since it's in colorless, we need the ability to exile non-land permanents. It's the best we can do. All this Dust is a one-sided board wipe most of the time that's going to wipe out our opponents. Warping Wall, we can exile some creatures with toughness 1 or less, but it's primarily there to counter the sorceries that may slow down our stuff. Not of This World, while 7 mana is a lot of mana, our commander is a 5/5 naturally, and only gets bigger with this deck. So, Not of This World is like a 7 mana deflecting swap in this deck. But instead of changing the target, it counters stuff. Lotus Petal, Mox Opal, or Ramp. Basilisk Collar gives Death Touch and Lifelink, is art block. Bloodforged Battle Axe makes copies of stuff, which get more and more power to our board. And at its worst, ramps with our commander. Ceremonial Knife, while yes, it doesn't give a big buff, that ability to make blood tokens, if we need cards, we can use it as a way to draw cards. Or, and as worse with our commander on board, those blood tokens are more and more mana the next turn. Colossal Hammer. It sees play in Modern. I'm pretty sure it saw play in Standard for a while. I'm pretty sure it sees play in Pioneer. +10/+10 on a creature is insane. Commander's Plate. I don't really recommend running Commander's Plate in decks that are more than 3 colors. But in this deck, this says Prop Bluebird +3/+3 for 4 total mana. Exhibition Map. It's a way to tutor for lands. We don't have the privileges that Green has of having better land tutors, so we have to improvise. Ghostfire Blade. Due to our deck being all colors, this card says, hey, 2 mana, target creature gets +2/+2 permanently. Golem Skin Gauntlets. We play a lot of equipments. It's a way to make it gets our guy bigger faster. Leather Armor. That equip 0 to give Ward 1 is really big. Ward's not hexproof, but it's a very good ability. Mana Vault's a ramp piece. Manifold Key is a way to untap artifacts like Mana Vault. And we can pay 3 mana to give our commander unblockable. Synthe's Divining Top, while yes, it's part of an infinite combo, is also there to have us see more cards. Shadow Spear, it's a way to help us interact with the board. We can't, but our opponent may be able to help us out. Soul Ring's a rock staple. Soul Guide Lantern. Graveyard synergies are a big thing in Commander right now. So it's a way to stop those or draw those cards. Volcanic Key is a way to untap some of our artifacts like Soul Ring, like our Commander, like Mana Vault. Zephyr Boots gives flying and its card draw. Conqueror's Flail. Normally in most decks this is here for 2 reasons. For us, it's simply there so our opponents cannot do stuff on our turn. Gavel of Righteousness will build up over time and get bigger and bigger every turn and make our commander bigger and bigger every turn. Golden Pick. It makes our commander bigger. It ramps us by making treasures. All around good and good. Gorgon Flail. It gives us Death Touch and makes our commander bigger. Hero's Heirloom gives Trample and Haste and a decent sized buff, which is big. Inquisitor's Flail, it's a very good card. Our commander deals more damage. Our opponents do half damage to it. Keep our commander alive longer. Ligamella Torque is a ramp piece and it also helps with getting more artifacts on board. Mind Stone is a ramp piece that controls cards. Moon Silver Key, like I said, we really struggle in the tutor department, so this helps us get your basic land, which we do run a couple of, and it helps us get our artifacts to tap for mana, which is a lot of our lands. Rogue's Gloves, more card draw. Swiftfoot Boots, Hexproof, Thought Vessel. While the no maximum hand size won't come up very often, that 2 mana, add 1 mana is going to be big. Thrawn's Power Suit is going to help our commander get much, much bigger and have more ward. Cloud Key is another combo piece with top, and it's more cost effective, we're always going to choose artifacts. Fire Shrieker, Double Strike is scary. Our commander's going to get big. Double Strike makes us scary faster. Haunted Cloak gives us Trample, Haste, and Vigilance. That Vigilance is big, so we're going to keep our big blocker available. Mirage Mirror. You find the biggest, scariest artifact, creature, enchantment, or land on the board, and you make a copy at the end of turn. Nettle Cyst gives us a blocker with the Living Weapon, but also helps our commander get bigger as needed. Quatus Spike, Death Touch, and ability to deal a lot of damage to our opponents. Symbol Anvil, it's another combo piece with top, and makes all our spells cost less. Sword of Feast and Famine, Sword of Fire and Ice, Sword of Fortune Frontier, and Swords of Truth and Justice. Those are the 4 swords I've chosen to run. There are 10 total swords, but those 4 really do what we need to do in the deck and give prop from every color possible. And the Sword Ward of Peace, so we run half the swords. Warren Power Stone is more ramp. Aether Flux Reservoir is, we have a lot of lifelink, so we're going to gain a lot of life with our commander being big, but also it's our way to end the game with our Sensei Divining Top combo. Assault Suit. No, it's scarier than just us hitting you, me hitting you with your commander, the other 2 people at the table possibly hitting you with the commander. And that's the way to do it. Grafted the Exoskeleton, it's 21 damage in commander for command damage to happen. That's 10 infect. That's the way to speed that up. Hammer in the Zon is the most important card in this deck. That ability to auto-equip and give a buff is going to be huge. Here in Archive is another ramp piece that draws us cards. Mystic Forge is the last bit of the combo with top and any of our cost reduction pieces, and also gets some more card advantage. Thrawn Dynamo is a ramp piece. Forsaken Monument, with this on our commander on board for commander 7/7, our rocks tap for more mana, and when we cast our equipments, we gain some life. The Mighty and Weak Stone, when ETBs, it's either card draw or it's removal for creatures, and it taps for 2 mana. Mike's of Vladis is the other half of our Karn lock, making it where our opponents can't activate anything. Lands, we're running 30 of them. We have a lot of cards like Ark of Urzad, Bonder's Enclave that draw our card draw. Blast Zone's removal, Buried Ruins, a way to pull back artifacts from the graveyard. Crystal Grotto and Zolfar Void. When the ETB, they scry us cards, so we see more cards. Crystal Vein is a way for us to get some more mana as needed. Darksteel Citadel is another artifact that boosts our Karn mana. Tension Tower is a way for us to interact with the board more. Field of the Dead. None of our lands share a name, meaning we are a very, very easy to do Field of the Dead deck, and we already need colors mana, so it's a way for us to make more and more. Hall of Talisman, it's a card that makes Power Stones, which will make our commander ramp us for more. Homeward Path. In my personal play group, we have multiple decks that steal our permanents. Homeward Path is my way of stopping that. Vinder's Fair is a tutor land. Karn's Bastion, we have an okay number of counter synergies. Not a lot, but enough where privilege that can be used. Mercurial Center of the Sea, while yes, everyone draws cards off it, everyone drawing cards is better than nobody drawing cards, and that's being behind. The Mirex is a land that can make creatures, well, yes, those creatures cannot block, they're more attackers. Reliquary Tower, like I said with Thought Vessel, the odds of us hitting that no maximum hand size needed is low, but it's better than nothing. Rogue's Passage is a way for us to give our commander unblockable. Scorched Ruins is a land that I'm pretty high on this deck because it taps for 4 mana at the cost of 2 of our lands. We really need that color as mana anyway, so it's all good. Shrine of Forsaken Gods. Early game taps for 1, but once we're hitting turn 6, turn 7, this should be tapping for 2 mana every turn. Strip Mine. There's some scary lands out there. We need a Strip Mine, especially since it taps for color mana anyway. We need the Strip Mine helps us stop our opponent's scary lands. The Microsoft Gardens, it can make a copy. It's a land, and later game we can use to make a copy of one of our scariest artifacts we have to make our guy better. War Room, it says pay 3 mana, draw a card. We run a waste in case we get Path to Exile, and we are running every single Urza land I can fit in the deck, which is 1, 2, 3, all 6 of them, because of Urza's Workshop. The Tron lands are good in the first place. Urza's Factory helps us by making some blockers. Urza's Saga is a tutor, but with Urza's Workshop, it can make a whole lot of mana. So let's go ahead and play test some hands. Start this one here. This one here is a mulligan. So I'll restart. We have 2 lands. So if we'd already used a free mulligan, I would keep this one. If we hadn't already used a free mulligan, I would definitely mulligan. So we're going to act like we already have and go after it. So we'll draw for turn. Land for turn, pass. Draw for turn. Land for turn, pass. Draw for turn. We'll play a land for turn, Vendor's Fair, and play our tapped artifact, and pass to our next turn. Now we have options here. We'll play a land for turn. We will play 5 mana, cast Karn. We're going to pay 1 and cast our gauntlets. Move to our next turn. On our next turn, we have 3 mana floating. We use all of that plus 1 more to cast Joyous Familiar. So now we're going to pay 1, cast Gorgon's Flail. Pay 2 to equip here. And sometime before our opponent's next turn, we're going to pay 3 and flash out. Before our next turn, we're going to flash out. We're going to do our next turn. Play our land for turn. Have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 mana floating. So we have 6 mana. And we have Metalcraft, so we're going to use this. Urza's Workshop. It's going to tap for 2 mana. We're going to use that 2 mana to equip. And we are going to go ahead and pay 3 mana, activate War Room, and draw an extra card. We're going to pay 2 mana. Cast Cloud Key, choosing artifacts. Now artifacts cost 2 less. We're going to move to our next turn. On our upkeep, we make 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 mana. Since our artifacts cost 2 less, we're going to cast Heirloom for free. We're going to go down to 5 floating mana and equip it. We're then going to tap for 2, 3, and tap the War Room again. Try to draw another card. Play Mana Vault for free. Tap Mana Vault for 3, and Urza's Mine for 1. We're going to sacrifice a Vendor's Fair. And we're going to search our library for a card, for an artifact card. We're going to search for Hammer of Nazan. Find it real quick. We're going to search for Hammer of Nazan. Close and shuffle our library. The Hammer of Nazan is now in our hand. We still have all 5 of our colors mana floating. We're going to use 2 of it going into 3 to cast Hammer of Nazan. It's going to auto equip. And we're going to move to our next turn. Mana Vault will stay tapped. We'll lose a life. But then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9 mana floating. We have 9 colors floating. We're going to use 1 of it to cast this guy because it costs 2 less, and it's going to auto equip, going to 8 colors floating. Play our land for turn. And at this point, our commander is pretty big, pretty scary. Death Touch, Trample, Vigilance. It's going to be able to do a lot. We're going to be able to filter out our excess mana. We like to throw our lands to start drawing more cards and get after it. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe down below. The deck list is in the description for this video. And if you stayed so long and have any questions, go ahead and ask them in the comments. I'll answer them as soon as I can.